Record. Alan, pick a month. Any month but June. Purchases. January it is. January. I have 5 choices remaining. Okay. Let's see. I've got a horror game. It says adventure, but it looks pretty scary to me. Or what is this? Indie adventure. Looks like a hold on, let me see. Looks like a pixel art could be a side scroller. Yeah, it looks like a side scrolling adventure platformer, maybe, or horror adventure game. Horror adventure it is. Send me a private. There it is. You're there. Boom, copy. I can already tell why I didn't pick this. It looks very scary. Control V. Send email. You are now the proud owner of Song of Horror Complete Edition. Let's learn more. The famed writer Sebastian P. Husher has gone missing, along with his entire family. Worried, his editor sent an assistant to his house in order to look for him, but he never came back. Oh, it looks very scary. So go have fun with that. Let us know if it's scary. Yes, it is the complete edition Song of Horror, which I've been at some karaoke nights. I know exactly what the Song of Horror sounds like. Did you see that was a joke? Thank you, Ethan. Okay, Ethan, Roe, do you all want to talk?
Hi.
Hello.
So I guess just another check-in. How's everybody feeling? How's everybody doing?
Remember, Wednesday is the day that things open up.
Yep.
I've been seeing a lot of talk in the Discord. I've seen a lot of people going to meetings. So thank you very much for putting things into gear and like doing this. But remember that Wednesday is when things open up. So is there anything anyone needs to ask, talk to other people in person while we're all here as the time crunch is coming in?
So I've been working on the music for videos. I was out of commission yesterday, but I'm good now. But I need to know if I'm moving in the right direction for the music before I like put in all the work to make it sound really good. And I haven't really gotten any feedback on that, so.
Yeah, I do see a question in the art channel. Artists who are working on the video, I know Sean, if he's here, you did narration. Any thoughts on what you felt like the vibe of the videos were like? Okay.
No one's talking.
In that case, I can look through the assets myself after class, and I'll let you know. what I get from it.
Mm.
And
Okay.
yeah, I'll do
That
that. I'll
would
do
be
that as soon as I can. Yeah. Anyone else have any other concerns that they would like to talk about? No. In that case, I do want to hold another meeting with all the leads and whoever else wants to stop by. So if you can just let us know in the Discord when you'll be free to hop in a call and just talk, that'd be great. I'd appreciate that.
You should make a message in the Discord
Yeah,
at everyone, just in case
Yeah,
if anyone's not in this call right now.
Could you
but-
make a when to meet for it?
Yeah, I can make that. I'll put everything in the announcements sometime after class.
Jeez.
Oh, one other thing that I've seen
Yes.
comments about is seems like we don't have a name for any of our characters, and I think that's something that's holding multiple people back.
Okay. I will take a look at that because names are important, but at the same time, it's not something to stress about. We don't have a name. We can
It just
really put
becomes
down any name. Yeah.
yeah, it's just that since our sidekick has channels and stuff, and with everything, it's like the only way we can like create profiles for these characters is if we know what their names are, so that we can like put that together. So
Yeah. I saw what Professor put in the chat. Yeah, writers, just pick a name. Doesn't have to be anything like super duper unique or special. Nothing to stress about. Yeah, I saw Eccentric. I think that's their channel name. And I don't know if their real name will be important to the story. If not, then the Sidekicks Discord can also just be as Eccentric. Thank you, Professor. But yeah, names, don't stress about it. Writers just come up with something that makes sense. And the sidekick can go as eccentric. That seems fine if they don't need a real name in the context of the story. But yeah, that should be fine. Anything else?
Okay. So let me just say, starting Wednesday, we're going to do a check-in with each department. I'm going to just go down because I got a list here of community. Well, we'll do writing, art, gameplay, tech, and then community management. It kind of has two things where we talk about playing theirs and we talk about the deal with yours. So just to check in each day of the ARG to make sure, because it gets kind of like it has. I'm not saying you guys are gonna, but it starts getting finger pointy, right? And everybody's like, I did this because you did this, and you and things happen, right? So we'll check in that way. And Ethan Rowe, you can run it, I can run it, doesn't matter. I'll probably run it because I'm the voice of authority. Gosh darn it, I'm in a mood today. Okay. Okay. So I want to talk to you about a couple of things today. First, honestly, I'm not sure which class this question came from, but the achievement, there's an achievement where you make an artifact and share it online. And people have asked, what the hell is that? So essentially there's a problem now because we are online. And like if you wanted to say, I don't know, bury treasure somewhere, right? The whole like running around outside and doing real world stuff just well, it 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 has two problems. One, pandemic. But two, the site specific stuff leaves out everybody who can't go to the site. So all that Jejune Institute stuff was great if you lived in San Francisco, but if you're not in San Francisco, you can't do it, right? And I have piles of like Jejune Institute stuff that I gathered from various sources in the ARG community, as well as just by going to San Francisco once or twice a year. Let me see. Oh, be right back. You've never seen me without my headphones. This is. See if I can get this off. I Love Bees, you'll recall. Had a well, I didn't go into I Love Bees this time because it's really old. But I Love Bees was marketing Halo 2 in 2004. One of the things you got if you were a super awesome player in I Love Bees is can you see this? Let's see. This is an I Love Bees all access VIP pass to the Halo 2 unveiling. It says crew member since 2004. San Francisco, California, November 4th, 2004. Didn't matter where you were. If you got one of these, they would fly you to San Francisco for the unveiling of Halo 2. Notice Xbox Live down at the bottom. And you also, I have it around here somewhere. It's a CD of all, let's see, can I find it? Is it here? Oh, wow. I got some old CDs sitting around under the piles of crap here. Nope, that's not it. Nope. Okay, can't find it. Not gonna wreck the place. But it was a CD of all the character interaction recordings that you also got. But the big thing here is this is the VIP pass. This comes on a lanyard, you wear it. And the people who care about Halo 2 really didn't care about I Love Bees. And the people who cared about I Love Bees really didn't care about Halo 2. It was a problem of genre, right? Because here's this online thing with really complicated puzzles that had to be crowdsourced, and you played it for months, and you ended up getting an all access pass for the unveiling of a shooter. And when you got there were a whole bunch of like, I don't know, dudes, like shooter dudes who didn't like solve puzzles for 4 months to get their pass. They just were like, I don't know, the popular shooter dudes. They did well. And did Halo 1 have, I don't think Halo 1 had actual multiplayer. I think it was Halo 2 that started the multiplayer. Anyway, so there were these two crowds at this event. One, the ARG people hated the Halo people, and the Halo people had no idea who these ARG nerds were. So it didn't go well. But stuff, right? Stuff. So going back to This Is My Milwaukee, how do you do the stuff when you're online? So I want to show you picture tools, slideshow. Okay. And share screen, photo viewer, slideshow, share. Okay, can you see this? It should be a page from a book. Yes. Okay. Good. So this is a book that they made for This Is My Milwaukee. You notice, why I don't want it to go forward. I don't know. Anyway, I guess it didn't go forward before. Screen sharing has stopped. Okay. How do I not make it? Picture tools, set as background view. Okay. Okay, I'll just do it this way. Share screen, share. This is just photos, hopefully. So they made this book, and you notice that's Terry Nanny from the video. This is the Milwaukee Tourism Commission, Milwaukee History Travel Society. They only made one of them. And then they took pictures of it and shared it with people online. So here's the contents. Copyright Act 7, Act 10 by Milwaukee Tourism Commission. What the heck does that mean? It's got at least 63 pages. We don't have 63 pages. This tells us more about the world of This Is My Milwaukee. It is also supposedly a prototype, so they're making notes to each other about what should and shouldn't be in the book, and there's all sorts of clues about incentive, Black Star, Fabrizio's, and all of this is mentioned in the video. And again, more notes, more marginalia, it's called. So you don't have to, and we even got the dog on the back cover, the dog from the video with the glasses. So we didn't have to make piles of them and hand them out to everybody playing. We made one and we took pictures of it and we had them find the pictures, right? And this is, I guess, more stuff. There's me taking a picture with a fennel. And then later on, and this is how it was done, it's done more often, is you make one thing and your very interested player finds it and shares it with everybody else that they're playing with. So I want to talk briefly about players and expectations. So I'm gonna get my whiteboard out. Here's my whiteboard, and I'm gonna let's switch to black. So this is the pyramid of people, right? And up here are right now what you're designing for. And these are the hardcore players. And traditionally, just by looking at the stats for some of the biggest ARGs out there, you know, the one that I share with you guys, the 42 Entertainment Windows Vista ARG, where they had puzzles projected on the fountain in front of the Bellagio in Las Vegas. They looked at how many people consistently played versus how many people looked at it once, and 2% of all the people who they engaged with actually played. Same with I Love Bees. They claimed they had 3 million players. And when you actually look at the numbers, they had about 130,000 players. So let's just quickly here, calculator. If you have 25 people in the other class and you 2% of them are hardcore players of your ARG, that is half a person, right? So you would be lucky. Well, you'll probably get more than that because you'll get you have basically the community managers from the other class are going to that's kind of their job, is to play your game and make sure other people play your game at least one day. But you know, even the biggest ARGs, 2%, that's what they're looking at. Then the next kind of tier, ooh, I got a straight line this time, are the people who go to your rabbit hole, find your rabbit hole, or maybe go look at some content in the course of your ARG, and say, that's cool. I'm bad at puzzles. I'm bad at figuring things out, but I'll follow along. I'll lurk. I might even post a message saying, you guys who figured this out are so cool. I love reading about what you did and how you solved it. They're watching everything you do, right? They're engaged. They take a passive role. This is more a movie or TV or a book for them, where content, where basically the hardcore players are actors in a story, right? Along with the NPCs. They are not part of it, but they are following along. And we love them, right? Because they're engaged. They're coming back every day. They're reading what you put out. They're happy about your story. And they sometimes become more hardcore and sometimes not, right? And then the third tier, which is your other 88%, these are the people who find your rabbit hole or a piece of content, say, wow, that's cool. I wonder if I had time, I'd do that. And then they don't check back. and then 6 months down the road, they go, I wonder whatever happened with that. And they might check back to see how it ended. Or in this case, next Monday or Tuesday, they'll check back in at the end and say, what was that? Right. And these are by far the most people you will engage with. So the question becomes, oops. Oh, come on. How do you turn a drive-by into a casual and a casual into a hardcore? So let's talk about casuals to hardcores first. The easiest thing to do is to engage with them. And this sounds kind of squirrely, like social media, kind of, how my brand, how do I drive engagement with my brand, blah, blah. And I guess it kind of is. This is the kind of thing that you have to think about when you're trying to market a video game as well, right? So you're not just, in terms of your ARG, you're not just saying, I made a thing, now play it, and twiddling your thumbs and waiting for people to play it. You've got to actively get out there and get people to play your game. So if somebody stops by and seems to be following along, or maybe is active for one day, the way to keep them engaged is to send them a message. And one of the ways to do it is to say, you could do it as part of a mass message. So you message all hardcore, you message everybody who's registered with you. But especially drive-bys will probably go, I don't have time. And if you send too many of them, then you will be unsubscribed from or otherwise blocked, right? Because let's face it, the most precious resource that we all have right now is our attention. What do we spend our time doing? And I know all of you have 2 other classes at least, maybe a project that's coming due. Maybe you're a senior and you have to get your MQP write-up done by Thursday. And your advisor didn't tell you that seniors have to get MQPs in by Thursday in order to graduate. You thought you had until the following Thursday. Suddenly, oh my God, this week, right? I don't have time for that. So how do you get a casual? You target one. If you can get one casual to go into hardcore, you've upped that from 2% to 3, 4, 5%, especially with the number of players we're expecting. And that's the other thing. The question always comes up, what if we throw an ARG and no one comes? Right. And I've told you about the class. I think I did. The class that just said, nope, we're not playing. We're just making our ARG. We will not, we don't care about the points for playing. And that was terrible for the people who made the other ARG. So your rabbit hole is part of your marketing, but messages from characters are also part of your marketing. And for instance, if you say, send a link to an artifact to 3 people and say, I don't want to share this with everyone because I don't want everyone to know who I am, but you three are trustworthy. And I think you can tell who's trustworthy among all the people and share it with them, right? Please share this with everyone you trust, right? Now the casuals are like, I'm special, right? I have a larger role. I have been called to adventure. Woo-hoo. And I start as a casual, I put it up on my, Google Images or my Flickr or what have you, and say, this was sent to me and only me by, uh, um, you know, Gladys. And Gladys says that the answers to the universe are in this if we just figure it out. Now I've gone from a casual to a hardcore because at least for this puzzle, I am the star of the show, right? So that's one way. Messages, personal messages, make people feel seen, right? Acknowledgement of things that they have said or done, right? So if somebody posts in a forum and then in the next day's email from a particular character, they reference something that a player said, oh my God, I'm seen. They know me, right? These are all things you can do. Drive-bys are harder because they aren't posting. They may or may not have shared information. If you have any information, basically, the best thing to do with a drive-by is if they if they come by one day and don't come by the next, you tell them, hey, this happened today, check it out. Or, hey, we're only going till Monday. If you're worried that this is going to take over your life for a month, it'll all be over on Monday, right? Give them the larger parameters to judge that whether it's worth their time commitment. Okay, make sense? Gonna stop that chair. And really, and the other thing is, if a drive-by comes by on day 3, there should be a way to get them on board on day 3, right? So one of the easy ways is every day to have someone, and this may be a player. In the past, on games that I've played, I have been part of the community where we say, this is what happened today. And every day we make a post in whatever forum and say, day 3 of ARG of Worms, right? This is what happened. Day 4, nothing, whenever something significant happens, we had a stickied on one, we had a stickied thread that said the story thus far. And every time something significant happened, somebody would add to the story thus far, so that you could, if you were just coming in, you could go read what had happened so far, right? And catch up and be a part of it. So I also want you guys to you're going to work, you've been working hard making this thing, right? And it can be demoralizing when you get to Thursday and no one seems to be doing anything, right? The people signed up at your rabbit hole. You got 15 people signed up. They filled out the form. They did the whole thing. And then your first puzzle, no one seems to be doing. And let me also just say, you've got to make markers, whether that's a form where you submit an answer and you tell the players right or wrong, and that gives you an idea of when somebody got it right, so that you know, oh, they've solved this thing or they've gone and done this thing. Because the other thing that's kind of terrible is you put it all up and you think they're playing, but you haven't put in any kind of gateways or markers, so you're not sure where they are. Maybe they're playing, maybe they're not. Nobody's sending emails to any of the characters. Is that because they're shy, or is it because they haven't found the ways to contact them? What's going on? So you've got to, as a group, your tech people, and your kind of community managers have to have ways of saying, okay, they are here. We have, and one of the easiest ways is just to look at views on a YouTube video. And, suddenly there are 15 more views on that YouTube video. Oh, the players found the video, right? Very simple. The other thing is to look at, you can look at analytics for blogs, WordPress or otherwise. And I'm sure you know many more than I do, especially the tech people. There was one year when they said they were tracing IP addresses of everybody who contacted or who accessed anything in their ARG. And I was younger and much more dedicated. Well, I don't know. I'm more dedicated. I don't know. But basically, I ran from Starbucks to Starbucks, playing the ARG, so that I wouldn't be coming from the same IP address, and they wouldn't recognize it as me. In the end, it didn't matter. But I had fun, like sitting in Starbucks all day Saturday, playing the ARG and talking to people. Okay. Anything else? I can show you that. I could show you so many things. Artifacts. Any questions about any of this? Does this make sense to y'all? I got an old row. Yes. New row. Yes. Thank you, row. talking to row. The other thing. So I want to show you another cool thing. Another cool thing. There's an achievement for changing the ARG based on player input, right? So once I was at an ARG convention, as I am wont to be, and I was sitting, I don't know, we were having drinks or something with strangers, absolute strangers. And one person you know, we were kind of introducing each other, and I'm like, oh, I'm a professor. I study this sort of thing. I play them all the time. And another woman said that she was one of the writers for an ARG that I forget the name of. And another woman at the table was like, oh my God, I love that ARG. I played that to death. And they started chattering to each other about an ARG that I had not played and did not know about. But the very interesting thing was the woman who played was like, and yeah, I was the person who figured out that Peter had been poisoned. And I was the first person to post that. I said, I'm pretty sure Peter's been poisoned. And if we find out who poisoned him, we'll find out who's behind it all. Right. And the writer woman said, you know what? We had no idea how Peter had died until you posted that. And then we saw that you were sure that Peter had been poisoned. And we looked at each other and we said, okay, Peter's been poisoned. Who poisoned him? And it made the rest of the ARG work, because, and the woman who was sure that Peter had been poisoned was at first like, wait, I was wrong. Peter hadn't been poisoned. And the writer woman was like, no, Peter had been poisoned. As soon as you said it, we were like, yes, that's perfect. Right. And this is what happens when you're open to theories of what's going on from your players. Because this is also something that seems to happen in like Marvel stuff now, where there are all these theories about, there were tons of theories about WandaVision, and they changed things based on the theories that were coming out. So but if you change things based on what your players are imagining, then they're real smart, because they have figured out something, right? Even if it's, you're like, yes, that is a perfect theory. That is now the reality. And second, you get a little help, because there are many times when your players they are looking at this thing from every side and trying to figure things out, right? The opposite of because I am the DM. Yes, exactly. Because I am the DM. But like my players, when I'm DMing, I do that all the time. They're like, I think this. And then I'm like, yes. Or they start questioning somebody and they go deep on one thing that I haven't really put any thought into, and I'm running a written adventure and there's nothing about it. And it's called saying yes. And it's one of the basics of improv, where instead of saying, no, you're wrong, it's this, you say, yes, absolutely. And you build on it. You add one more thing. So I just want to show you a thing, just because I think it's beautiful. It was a thing I kickstarted, and as with any Kickstarters, I really don't expect anything, and then something shows up. This is a puzzle box, right? I love puzzle boxes. Let me just show you the top of it. It's called Davy Jones's Locker. There are all sorts of symbols. There are little symbols that you can see through the holes. You can't really see them. There's this over here. See the little lock? Oh, you can't. There are little like constellations. on either side here. And then down the bottom, there's one of these slidey puzzles. Took me about an hour to open this box on Saturday. And there's a whole genre of escape room virtual things. They're actually called The Room. If you've ever played with them online, they're great, and they're basically puzzle box after puzzle box like this. See, the thing that I love is I can touch this. You can. I will bring it into school because I have solved it. Actually, it was harder. Well, no, it wasn't harder. It's somewhat difficult to get back together. Once you do. The other kind of wonderful thing is that it's self-contained. Like the first thing, I don't know if you can see their little semaphore flag symbols there, right? So my inclination, there's some over there too. My inclination, I know that those semaphore things, that's code for letters. So I immediately Googled and got the letters and started trying to make words out of this. And I was wrong. You don't have to do that at all. There's nothing, you don't have to look anything up to solve this box at all. It is entirely self-contained in the box. Actually, that's a little tight. Oh, there it goes. These things go back and forth. Boom, boom, boom. The only thing that I did have to kind of do is have a pen and paper to write things down so that I didn't have to keep like flipping to the bottom of the box and then flipping to the top of the box to see various symbols, so that I could write down symbols and the order that they were in order to solve the next puzzle. So this is the kind of thing that I miss with being all online, is having things that you can touch, right? So for instance, one year, one of the characters left a rubber ducky for the players, and the players were told to put it over by they were supposed to put it on the outside of where the old nuclear reactor was in Washburn. You know, we used to have a nuclear reactor, and at the time we still had a nuclear reactor. It's only been decommissioned very recently, last 2-3 years, somewhere around there. And so they were supposed to leave this rubber ducky at a particular spot on the WPI campus and wait for instructions. And so they left it at a certain time. And the character waited an hour and then said, go back and get the rubber ducky. Right. And so the players rushed back to where they left the rubber ducky. And instead of a small rubber ducky, there was a huge rubber ducky, because it had grown, because it had been irradiated by the nuclear fallout from our nuclear reactor. So yes, the low-key spooky puzzle video game series, The Room, exactly. Yes. It's on iOS and Android, and I think it's even on Steam. Go check them out if you like puzzles like that. So just by having a little rubber ducky and a big rubber ducky, and the big one was big, at least big for a rubber ducky. It wasn't, gigantic. They had this kind of magic moment where it's like, oh my God, it grew. Ah! And then they had this big rubber ducky to run around with to signal various characters who they were and what they were doing, which was great in both cases. And again, no puzzle to solve, just do this thing and come back and pick up the thing. So this is puzzle stuff. Anyway, okay. Last call for anything from Ro or Ethan. Did you forget anything?
Nope, I'm all good.
Okay. Can't wait to see the rabbit hole. This year both groups seem to want a list, or maybe, I don't know, I got 2 requests from one group. I got 2 requests for lists of the people in the other class. So I had Varun and McKenna exchange those lists. I want to say that that in the past I've had similar requests and I've said no. I'm trusting you. Please, please, please don't bug the crap out of everybody in the other class. If they don't want to participate, that is their right. Just like if they don't want to participate in the class, that is also their right. They are perfectly allowed to NR this course, just like all of you are. Don't target and go hardcore marketing on them. Okay, so I will see you tomorrow with more stories of ARGs gone by, and advice for how not to get Dean fired. Haven't heard any close calls from Varun, so I'm hoping everything is good. I tend to keep myself in the dark so that I can actually play your ARG. So I'm going to try and play your ARG. I don't always get everything because I have other responsibilities too. Okay. I will see you tomorrow.